Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
So we'll go over some of the Riot Fest after shows that were dropped yesterday in just about 10 minutes here. We'll also give out that keyword one more time. If you want it for Jane's Addiction and the Golden Ticket, of course you want that. But first, before we move forward, we have to pour one out. And we were pouring one out for the fourth marriage of J-Lo. Jennifer Lopez filed for divorce from Ben Affleck just 25 months after they got married in July of 2022.
I think to the day from their ceremony.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Ben spent the weekend with his other ex-wife, Jennifer Gardner, dropping their daughter off at their first year of Yale.
My man.
Okay, relax. Relax.
Ben knows how to do it.
How odd that you've had two ex-wives and they're both named Jennifer, though.
A little weird. And he was engaged to J-Lo before he married Jennifer
engaged.
Gardner. I mean,
Yes.
they broke up. I mean,
Yes.
he didn't stay engaged to her.
He was engaged to J-Lo twice, married her once. Yes.
Yeah.
So, just for tracking, this was J-Lo's fourth marriage and sixth engagement. She
Wow.
was married to Ohani Noah, Chris Judd, Mark Anthony, then Ben Affleck. She was engaged to Ohani Noah, Chris Judd, Ben Affleck twice, Mark Anthony, and Alex Rodriguez.
Whew, I'm exhausted. That was a lot.
That's a lot of rings. She got to keep all those alone. Her kids, like just you'd be rich as of that.
I mean, the first thing I think of when I hear that, I know a lot of people probably have comments of like, there's easy ways to make fun of things, especially in her situation having four marriages. But I just think of all the legal bills and the dividing up of stuff.
Oh, God, a lot of houses being bought and sold.
Oh my God. I mean, I've gone all in with Megan. We just share our money. We have no agreement. It's all together, and we're going in. I just figure that's what that's what I'm doing. And I can't imagine, God forbid, anything happen. And it's like, that's just gone then, I guess.
Well, imagine. I assume that when you're famous, there's a lot of famous people out there who have friends that aren't famous. They have childhood friends. Wouldn't you be like, Jennifer, I can't do this again. I can't afford to go to another wedding. I can't afford to go to another engagement party. These are expensive. They're always on islands and stuff. Like, I can't. I'm not an actress. I am struggling.
Yeah. So her fourth marriage, and there was a lot of obviously speculation over the last couple of years, even early in the marriage. Oh, it's not working or whatever. People make jokes and memes and stuff. And now,
Circling the block is always a decision. It's a tough one.
to get a divorce, you mean?
No, circling the block, like going back to a relationship that failed is always like. I'm not saying it hasn't worked for some people if they've, figured themselves out, but a lot of times there's a reason you broke up the first time and you just,
Yeah.
you forget.
They dated in the early 2000s, and then they got back there in 2021. And, yeah, then, Jennifer Gardner, I think he's got 3 kids with her. No, 2 daughters. Violet,
Two daughters.
Two daughters, yeah.
And boy, did they just steal her face. If I were Jennifer Lopez, I don't know if I could be with them because there's just little Jennifer Garners running around my house all the time. I don't need to see that every time I turn around. It's a lot to deal with.
And J-Lo had 2 kids, so they were good co-parents. They always had the
Yes.
kids over the house and all that. But it's, I know people like to say, like, she can't keep a man. But also those guys probably have the issues, too. Like, Ben Affleck has a lot of issues. He cheated on Jennifer Gardner.
With a nanny,
Yeah.
which is, like, really crappy.
I wanted to hear what you were going to say.
I was going to say a lot of other things.
Well,
It's just like you
Isn't
hire
cheating-
somebody to take care of your children, and then you just get sucked off. It's like
Okay.
I'm just like.
we don't know what happened.
Did you really have to do that with the person that's like, teaching our kids fundamental things? That's a bummer. Now I gotta divorce you and hire someone else. Instead of just cheating with like somebody that's not involved in my life, and the children's like, oh, we really liked your mom. Why is she gone? Well, honey.
Well, like Tiger didn't need a Perkins waitress.
That's right.
Right,
I guess.
not the nanny.
You find another waitress at another restaurant anywhere you go.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of waitresses out there.
What's the ideal profession to cheat with, Kenzie?
Just somebody that I don't have to deal with, at least. Like, I don't need it to disrupt my everyday, because I already now have to divorce you and have to deal with that. Please don't make me change schools, get a new nanny, get a new doctor, could you keep it in your side of the fence?
So you can't cheat with your doctor,
Yeah.
our nanny.
Yes. Is that their teachers?
The waitress at our favorite restaurant.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Add that one in.
Well,
My
Mrs.
fam-
Woods can't go to Perkins now.
My family members.
Oh.
Okay, add them in.
Like, come on.
Let's keep this list going.
Could you just focus on your stuff? Like, come on.
What else? The mailman or
My
mailwoman?
coworkers.
Yeah. It's a big list now. You're really,
Oh,
you
yeah,
thought,
poor him.
you thought it was just the nanny, but now it's a big list that he
Just-
can't
just
have sex
keep
with.
You're making it really hard to cheat, Kenzie.
God, Kenzie. I thought it was going to be
high
something.
standards.
You were going to make it simple, and now it's hard. There's always so many dateable people out there, or bangable people, I should say.
I'm sure Ben Affleck has a really hard time getting random girls to sleep with him.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
Now is your chance to qualify for the golden ticket. Please don't text and drive. Standard message and data rates apply.
Q 101.
All right, time for a word that's active now till 10:29. When Lauren comes in all the way through, text the word 7, SEVEN, to 312-591-8300. I will tell you that the number 7 also works on this one. If that's easier for you to text, you can just text the number 7 or the word SEVEN to 312-591-8300. Sunny Day Real Estate playing the House of Blues. These qualifying shows are ridiculous. Case the producer, as I can't wait for the Jane's Addiction show, I know you're dying for this show.
I'm pumped. Sunny Day came back 2 years ago at Riot Fest, and I missed them. And everybody that I talked to was like, no, they were the best set of the weekend. They absolutely crushed. And then they played the Metro, and they crushed again. So I haven't seen them since they reunited, but I'll be at this House of Blues show because I am quite excited for this.
Now, if you don't know the history, and maybe you've seen some of the documentaries, the rhythm section of Sunny Day Real Estate was the original rhythm section of the Foo Fighters.
That's right.
And Nate Mandel is still in the Foo Fighters as the bass player. And the story of the drummer is wild if you watch that story.
It's a tough one.
Oof. I don't know if you know that story, Kenzie, but...
I don't. I feel really out of the loop right now. You guys are just going, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm like, oh, did something
basically...
bad happen?
Did I do that?
What's going on?
Well, basically, Kenzie, the drummer, now back in the Sunny Day Real Estate, was the drummer in the Foo Fighters. And then in the middle of the night, Dave Grohl was going back in and re-recording his parts because he's a pretty awesome drummer himself. And he couldn't take that it wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
So he wasn't telling him he was doing that. And then Nate, his friend from Sunny Day Real Estate, called him and said, hey, man, you might want to get down here to the studio because I'm not, you didn't hear it from me, but Dave's re-recording your parts.
Well, that sucks.
It's not nice.
It did. So that guy's name was William Goldsmith, and he
Yeah.
still drums for Sunny Day, and he's a great drummer. But the Foo Fighters were making Color in the Shape, which has Monkey Wrench and Everlong and some of the greatest songs of all time. And Dave Grohl heard those drum tracks when they were recording the album and went, not going to do it.
And
Not good enough for me.
He's a great drummer, but Dave Grohl's one of the greatest drummers. So it's like, what do you do when you're the drummer and you're the singer of the band and you go?
I should have told him.
Probably. He even said that in the documentary, which is a great documentary.
Foo Fighters Back and Forth, I think is what it's called.
Awesome. That's exactly what it's called. And Dave Grohl says, listen, I was stupid and I should have handled it better. I'm not perfect human and I didn't handle it right. Instead, he just went back in the middle of the night and re-recorded the drum tracks and didn't tell him. So when he found out, William Goldsmith, they had a conversation, and Dave said, look, man, you can be the drummer for the tour, but I'm going to record on the records.
Ouch. That is so mean.
And that's what basically...
You could have been like, I'm going to give you one more chance.
No.
No.
But you know what? Your reaction right there is exactly what William Goldsmith's reaction was. In a different way, he said, well, let me try to put together my soul if I took that gig of just being the touring drummer. But then again, now look at it now 25 years later, Dave Grohl's worth about $300 million. Maybe he should have kept the gig.
It's tough. And the bummer is when you listen to Sunny Day, you go, man, that guy's a good drummer.
Yeah,
that was a really good band.
He's a good drummer, but the problem was the singer of your band was also a better drummer, I should say. I
would have said, if we're doing this, we're not telling anyone. Like, just shushy. Like, don't, Mr. Grohl, don't be like, listen, it was actually me, but I'm going to let him tour. Like, let's keep everything on the hush-hush.
And maybe it would have been kept quiet, but
it
this
doesn't sound like
well,
it.
this was the documentary of, so they were recapping the story of what happened, but,
He probably would have felt like Milli Vanilli. That's the problem.
I think you're right. I think
would have felt like that.
He would have felt like a fraud. People coming up,
Yeah.
oh, that drum part you did on Monkey Wrench, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he just would have sank.
Mwah,
Everyone's like, every
mwah.
time I compliment him, he cries. It's so weird.
I can only look at it this angle right now of like the money that he probably lost out on. But then again, it's not just money; it's your soul. And
He's
it's what
happy. Maybe his happiness is worth more than the paycheck,
I feel like
Brian.
he's still doing well. You're acting like you met him on Lower Wacker. I mean, he's fine.
He probably was there right after that happened. But he has recovered fine. And Sunny Day Real Estate playing the House of Blues. You can see that whole thing. And you should watch that documentary, too, by the way. Wednesday, September 25th. Just text the word 7, S-E-V-E-N, or the number 7, to 312-591-8300. Qualifies you for that show and the golden ticket. Everything Q101 does for an entire year, you're going to be taken care of there. And Brian and Kenzie got you there. Remember that. We care about you. We love you. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. So before we get the takeaways, text 7, S-E-V-E-N, or just the number 7 to 312-591-8300 for your chance to win tickets to Sunny Day Real Estate at the House of Blues. What are you laughing at?
Somebody said did 6. Nope, sorry.
No, you're out.
Not going to go through.
Nope.
So close. You missed it by that much.
We want y'all to win.
All right.
So you have to do the right thing. 7 or 7. Either one of them. Sunny Day Real Estate at the House of Blues, Wednesday, September 25th from our great friends at Live Nation, and qualified for the golden ticket. Everything we do for an entire year, from Riot Fest to Riot Fest, you are there. Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of concert tickets, and it's active for about another 44 minutes till 10:29. Lauren will have a new word for you at 10:30. Text at will, but just once, whenever you're going to do it. Case, takeaways, what do you got?
Mike checked in his takeaway. WD-40 stands for Weird Noises Done Gonna Stop 40.
Is that not it?
Well, you have to find out who got the point on that one. Kenzie, what do you got?
Nail biter in trivia today. Mitchell texted in, Brian wishes he was as abductable as Kenzie, but he's just not.
It's really part of the problem I have with I need therapy for. I'm not abductable enough.
That's
to
tough.
Kenzie.
Sorry.
It's too bad. Finally, takeaway from Miguel. The best way to wake up after fainting is with a candy bar in your mouth, but don't throw the wrapper onto the ghetto moon.
Combines the whole show today.
This is why we do a podcast, so you can go back and figure out what the hell that means, because it's all going to be there. We're not going to explain it now.
No, Kenzie, we learned on the podcast today, Kenzie can't stop fainting. It's fine.
I'm like a goat.
Maybe we can learn about Kenzie's fainting problems and the ghetto moon in the 6 o'clock hour. Somebody, please, at 7 o'clock, we talked about this. Somebody talk Brian out of bringing back his fedora phase, because it seems like you're in the ballpark to start wearing the fedora again.
I think I'm game. I'm open to it. I'm open to discussion.
All right.
Maybe I'll be more kidnappable if I'm wearing a fedora.
I don't think so. It's not going to help the cause.
That's at 7 a.m. Later in the day, Brian asked me a shockingly intimate question that invaded my personal life. You want to check out that conversation. And then just now, Kenzie made it really hard to cheat on people with all the rules she has.
God.
I know. Back in my day, cheating was fun. You could do it with anybody.
Right.
Not anymore. Kenzie has all these rules. That's on the Brian and Kenzie podcast.
I have high standards, you see.
Very high standards when it comes to cheating. There you go. Go to the podcast.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.